What's up, everybody? It's your favorite Hollywood director's favorite nerd, and today we are looking at the Magic Square Crane, which is their take on a legend scale hoist. This is all known to me from Robert D, honestly, for a larger project than what we're looking at today, but we'll get there later. But first, accessories. So he comes with this kind of signature thing that goes behind his head. It'll peg into the flap right behind his head, and it can also tab in here in truck mode. He comes with an extra hand that you could swap out instead of having the one gun hand. He also comes with a hammer hand. This is done the exact same way. You just pull out the laser gun or the other hand that you put in, and then you can put this in its place. He comes with a decent enough little accessory of that tower that they were building with grapple from, that thing from that episode. And, it's cool. I think it's, whatever. I think it's kind of excessive, honestly, but the fact that they included it is nice. And then this is supposed to be like the jousting thing from that episode with Warpath and all, but I'm not sure why they would include it with him unless they just had extra room on the sprue and just well, what can we do? I don't know, put a little ear cleaner at the end of it or whatever, and here it is. But once again, it's nice. I don't feel like I'm paying anything extra for it. I feel like it's just kind of part of it and it's an extra, but I'm just not sure how appropriate it is for him. And let's talk about the figure. So the head does have a light piping, which I think is a bit of a weird choice. I think they should just paint it, but they don't put a whole lot of paint on this figure, whereas I feel like on the last one they did. There's stuff, but I guess it's not fair. It comes through in alt mode mainly. I'm not crazy about the color at first glance. It seems too muted to me, but that might just be me. But so the head has a flap where the neck connects, and then it swivels where the peg is, so it can look down, it can look up, and it can swivel. So it's actually pretty articulated, which is nice. The shoulders are basically universal joints, so you get up to there and then around, and nothing for a butterfly or anything, but I guess by rotating the universal you kind of get it to hinge back, but that's kind of a cheat. But fine, your little flaps here can spin around on these ball pegs as well, and your wings can move, I believe. Maybe not. Yeah, up and down. All right. Then you have a waist swivel. Let's see, I haven't checked the ab crunch situation. It doesn't appear to have an ab crunch, which is fine, in my opinion, for a Legends class figure. I feel like when we do get one, it's more of a bonus. Do you know what I mean? Bicep swivel, double hinged elbow, get you the full run on both sides, and then the wrist swivel or the laser cannon will swivel or the hammer will swivel or whatever. T-jointed ball joints for hips, but you get the full run because the cut goes all the way up the universal, which is nice. The hip joint, which is nice. So full Van Damme, if we can get this flap out of the way. And actually, if you take this flap here and push up, that'll move all this stuff kind of up. You can't get this back flap back anymore, but I think that's fine because it'll actually help angle your bit on top, and then you can get the leg all the way back. Thigh swivel is actually a cut joint, and it's seamless. Double jointed knee for the full run. It's ugly as sin, but effective. We have a little bit of paint there down on the foot. Ankle tilt down, not really anything up, maybe slightly, and you do get a rocker, a little limited. So, cool little figure, little messy on the back. I don't think it's the biggest deal in the world, especially for a Legends class figure, especially for one that presents kind of so well from the front, so to speak. I wouldn't say it is their best or most kind of... What I like about Magic Square's Legends is at first they look simplistic, and then after you kind of mess with them, you're like, oh my god, this thing is far more engineered than I thought it was. And I wouldn't necessarily put this guy in that category, but it's still pretty solid. Let's do some size comparisons. So there it is with the Iron Factory Blaster when they were smaller figures, and then a Hasbro Legends. Neither of these are really great figures to do comparisons with, but now I'm just going to always do them out of tradition. There it is with Iron Factory Tarn, so about the same size. And there it is with Magic Square Huffer and DX9 Prime. Hopefully that gives you some sort of an idea. Okay, so let's get him transformed. So actually the first thing you do, spin his head around. Then bring the hood up, and you can actually extend this entire piece. Just be careful of the side flaps, make sure that they work their way around. Once it's straightened out here, just do the naturally intuitive thing and flatten out the bumper. This part is crucial, and I messed it up on my first recording, so I had to go back and show this part specifically. Make sure that you can see 3 mushroom pegs. 1, 2, 3. Then rotate the arm up so that the fist or cannon is pointing towards you. All right? Crucial, crucial, crucial. Can't say it enough. Now, what you have to do is rotate at this block here down, and then rotate the arm on the universal up. So now you have mushroom peg, and then this block with the square pointing towards the front of the vehicle. Then when you rotate it in, the arm will cover in, and this piece will sit back. You'll see that it will become crucial as we move this bar into place. So, same thing again. And I'm just taking some amount of time on it because it'll eat you up. So, rotate this block down. And then rotate the arm around on the universal. And then rotate the whole piece in, once again giving you the indentation. Now let's work on the legs a bit. So spin at the thigh 180, and then spin at the calf, which I guess is an extra point of articulation. It would act more like an ankle swivel. Do the same for the other side. And then you want to open up this foot, wrap this back around on itself. Let's see if we can't. And that's gonna tuck up in there. There. Once again, little bit of a tolerance, but flatten out, you will get it. All right, and then you can peg these together. Move these armatures up and out of the way again, and move your orange wings towards the bottom. There's a little gray flap here, tuck that around, and then you just have to maneuver it so that these orange bits of the hip are going to butt up against the orange bits of the truck, and then double hinge the legs around, and that will hopefully, if we have it pegged again together, sit properly against the back of the truck. And then you can kind of, you're going to have to cover all this down a bit, but this flap will come around to the back. You see, I don't have this knee quite right because it came straight. So, I mean, excuse me. Good grief. Bring that flap down to the back. Then your final steps is to move these armatures into place. So the first one goes up, and then the second one goes back, and then that lines up with these tabs here on the side. And then the same for this side. First arm goes up, second arm goes back, and then all of this lines up on the sides. I'll clean it up, we'll take a look at it. And I think it's a pretty solid truck mode. This thing in the back goes down. It looks great. Don't underestimate it, because that one part of the arms ate me up. Rolls like a champ. We got the silver paint here and then the red paint. All the paint deco went into the truck mode. So you get the black, the yellow, the little door handles are painted. The kind of trim down there is all painted. All the black details and silver details on the red, on the orange bits rather. The red paint on the sirens, like the light ups there. So all of that, like, that's where it all went. Which is a bit of a bummer because most people are going to display it in robot mode. But I guess it would look, you know, it would almost look kind of like unforgivable if it were here. But yeah. Looks good to me. You're not going to believe this, but I can't find Tiger Tracks. I have to fix that, so we'll just do Omnigonics for now. That's like his stunt double. Final thoughts wise, this is certainly not their most elegant piece. It's a little clunky, it's a little clumsy, that'll come across to you. A lot of Magic Square stuff, I feel like they really have it clear and ironed out as to what they intend to do with their engineering. This one seems a little awkward, which simultaneously seems out of character for them. I'm not crazy about the green color choice, but that obviously is going to come down to some level of personal preference. There's some weird accessories in it that I don't really feel like make sense, but I guess I'll take them. But there are plenty of positives. Super well sculpted for a Legends class figure especially. Super well articulated for a Legends class figure. Most of the engineering is enjoyable. It's just those arms that you gotta really make sure that you have done 100%. There's also a bit of a challenge in getting him untransformed. Namely because you really feel like you gotta get the head out of the little cavity that it flaps down into before you can get the arms out. But it's a little bit challenging to get the clearance to get to the head in order to get it out. So once again, it's just like, it's just kind of not as smooth, and certainly not what what I've come to expect with Magic Square in regards to engineering. But it is pretty impressive how they're able to keep the shapes and such and everything kind of accurate in regards to the character in such a little figure with such a small parts count. So I do think they deserve some sort of credit for that. That being said, it's not my favorite, but there is enough good here where I can kind of leave it up to you. It's too much of a mixed bag for me. Probably my least favorite Magic Square thing I've looked at, but that doesn't mean it's terrible, not by any stretch of the imagination. It's just a fair bit less in terms of expectations and reputation of what I've come to expect from them. Hope that helps. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.